One of the veterans of artworks in Nigeria, in the person of Sylvester Aguda, exhibit different artworks in Lagos. Sylvester Aguda exhibited different artworks where different persons present gave him some words of encouragement.
The artworks are so amazing. Amazing in the sense that it has a way of telling the African story, not just in drawings, but in let me use the word, in paper. And it has been able to speak so much volumes to me. Speaking of the beauty of the African tribe, African race, seeing of how rich this tribe and race is, and seeing how our story can push beyond Africa, beyond Nigeria to the rest of the world, telling the African story, the story that has not been told in a unique way through art, creative art most especially.
I would like to tell him to keep up the good work, and I would also like to see him inspire other artists. You know, Africans are not known to be too big on art. You know, I'm sure foreigners come in here and they appreciate these things probably much better than we do. Even our own culture, probably much better than we do. So if we can have more people, more artists, you know, thinking in this direction. I also see what other artists do, and a lot of them tend to depict or represent what happens in the Western culture a lot, and I don't know why. You know, but a representation of what goes on in your own culture, I think, is better off. Yeah, you tell your own story through artwork, because the Western guys tell their own story through their own artwork. So I think we should have more artists thinking more African and really doing amazing things like this. It's so many collections here. It's just amazing. It's just too much, you know. So if we have more people thinking like this, so he can serve as a springboard or as a hub for creating such amazing, you know, artworks, you know, through other people. You know, so it's one thing I think I'd like to see him do, you know, and maybe also do a lot of exhibitions outside Nigeria, and perhaps outside Africa, since we see that these foreigners coming here and they appreciate what we do here, or some of our, you know, they appreciate our story, the stories that have been told through these artworks. I think it would be nice for him to also take some of this artwork out there. You know, I'm sure he will get more people who are going to be interested. I know he tries to do this online, you know, but if we can have more physical presence outside Nigeria, outside Africa, I think it would be an amazing one, and I think it's something he should pursue. Yeah.
One of the curators of the exhibition, Kenny Ekundayo, stated some reasons she likes working with Sylvester.
Very interesting artist. His style of artistry is a captivating one, and it's not just because he's my client and artist, but it's actually because of the nature of his works. When it comes to art, it has to be meritorious. You can't just try to ascribe some kind of glory or importance to an artist who does shitty work. It's there, it's glaring for what he does. So yes, he's merited the whole accolade, so to say. And I like that. I like his theme of creations. He tries to propound on the heritage of Africa. In each of his works, there's always this statement of Africanism. So at the end of the day, wherever his works are, even if it's in the North Pole, whoever sees it would know that this is coming from this part of the world or this part of this continent by the time they decide to delve into Africa itself. So I like Sylvester's work for what they speak about, what they portray. It's an art, it's a production, an art production of passion. It comes from a place of passion. It comes from a place of interest, genuinity, and it's majorly the sole reason why I have worked with him for this long. He is like the longest artist who I've worked with, and it's a very magnanimous relationship.
Sylvester is actually developing daily. If you've been to his exhibition, you see the progress. And that's what we expect from someone like him too. It's wonderful.
as some of them also point out to the artwork they love most.
The first time I walked into Sylvester's first exhibition at the Oriental Hotel, the ballroom of the Oriental Hotel, this work got my attention, and that was in 2016, and I am so glad that I finally get to take it home, maybe today or tomorrow. We all have this face that we feed to people, and then at the end of the day, you're in your space and everything, the mask comes off, you literally unveil, and it's just you and your thoughts, it's just you trying to strategize, find your way out, and that's really what this work is about. And it means so much to me, and I think this was my standpoint of impression about Sylvester and his artistry.
Sylvester Aguda, which says some reasons why government should support them and some things that motivate him to do more artworks.
What you see here today is strictly a gift from God for me. I'm able to cut without tracing. I'm able to create impressions that come to my head, and I'm excited. It's miraculous what I do. In the last 2 years, I've been able to do over 400 pieces of artworks, build collectors within Nigeria and abroad. But it gives me satisfaction to see that I'm able to use my hands to create something. I use my artworks also as a therapy for people who, are under pressure, people who want something that will relax them and comfort them. So use art as that medium to promote Nigeria, to use my art to pave the way for other young coming artists, because I've been able to train 1 or 2 people in what I do, and they are also exhibiting today their own medium of art. But I like to give people that free hand. Now, talking about art production, it's a long stage. It's a wide variety of things to do. First, you have to have the idea. 2, you have to agree on what medium you want to interpret that idea with. And then your finishing matters a lot, because if you have a good job and your finishing is not perfect, then the whole thing is a waste. So that perfectionist thing comes up. It's very important. Now, there's also damage. You have to be very careful, the kind of materials that you use, because especially for the kind of work I do, it's not canvas. So I have to protect my work with glass or perspex, So it's interesting. It's interesting knowing that I can be productive. I can use my God-given talent to make something that will fetch me money. So art production is rewarding. It's rewarding, honestly. My artwork is appealing to a lot of Nigerians, not only Nigerians, international collectors as well. People want something different. People are excited about something different. So me being able to do this, has given me that niche that, I have something that's not common. Art industry in Nigeria is growing very rapidly. We have great artists, who are doing some wonderful artworks. We have Arinze, we have Ken, we have Isimi Taiwo, we have Olu Hyperclassical, and then the recent young boy who drew the president of France. A lot of creative minds are coming up. We just need to be encouraged. We just need the government to identify us. Look at our music industry today and our movie industry. Rapid growth. You cannot go to any country and you not hear the Nigerian music or see our actors on TV. So the same applies to art. We just need to. Right now, most of the artists, we are just doing these things on our own. And art is expensive in the sense that the materials you need to buy to do these things are not indigenous. They are also foreign, and you have to import and all that. But if we get support, we get tax leverages on materials, we're able to get one-stop shops where we can pick all the things we want to do for creativity and discounts on them. It will help us also to bring down the price of our artworks. One of the things we want to do is to see how people can buy art in Nigeria, and price is a major factor in Nigeria as a business. So we try to see how we can make our prices affordable. Like myself, I've been able to try to make artworks to meet every class of collector, So I believe strongly that if we continue like that, we will succeed if we get the support.
He also promised that the next exhibition will be bigger than the one of this year.